Hello, you insurance heroes. Enjoy this bonus episode entitled The 50 Traits of Top Producers. It's from an article I wrote a while back, but the characteristics are still timeless, so enjoy. I can't believe it's been 28 years of coaching, supporting, and training producers. What a wild ride it's been. Over the course of that time, though, I've been able to identify certain traits, characteristics, behaviors of the top producers. I find it fascinating that these commonalities have nothing to do with the market the producer's working in, the size of the agency, education, height, weight, any of those characteristics. These behaviors seem to be driven by their belief system, by their determination to be successful and their belief that they will be successful. These first 10 provide us with a description of how they look at their objectives, their goals. Number 1, great producers are on a mission. They decide what they can have, believe that they should have it, and then go out and get it. No excuses. 2, great producers have goals that far exceed others' expectations. Assigned objectives are understated. 3, great producers are never content or comfortable with today's progress. 4, great producers review their goals and measure their progress on a daily basis. Number 5, great producers visualize achieving their goals and are guided toward them by an internal compass. That's the belief system I mentioned. 6, great producers evaluate their performance and the quality of their activity regularly. Is what they're doing working for them? Number 7, great producers celebrate victories. Number 8, great producers are disciplined daily, even on Friday afternoon. Number 9, great producers run marathons, not sprints. In other words, they're not looking for instant gratification or instant results for their time and attention. They understand that success comes with time, and time takes time. Number 10, great producers are emotionally attached to their objectives. They may give in, but they never give up. And what are they giving into? They're simply recognizing that every plan, as it rolls out, needs adjustment. Some things they anticipated would work, or don't work as well as they expected. And they make the changes required along the way rather than stubbornly sticking to the original plan. That seems to be a critical component of making any plan work. Speaking of work, these next 10 traits describe how they use their time, how they allocate their time, and how they work. Number 1, and by the way, this is the one I like the least. Great producers start early, every day, 7 a.m. or earlier. Number 2, great producers sell during selling hours. Selling hours, as you know, are 9 to 5. They save the non-high payoff activity, the administrative tasks they do before or after that block of time. They try and hold their selling hours sacred. Number 3, great producers spend a minimum of 50% of their time outside the office. They unash their seats and they're out there shaking hands and kissing babies. Number 4, great producers are selling at least 70% of their time. So even when they're in the office, they're working on high payoff business building activities, 70% of the time. Number 5, great producers have fun and they plan in their fun. You know, this thing that we do doesn't have to be a grind. We can enjoy it as much as we decide to, and great producers have decided to enjoy it. Number 6, top producers return their calls quickly. Not every call they get, but every high payoff call, usually from their cell phone because they're not in the office. Now that one may seem obvious, but let me tell you, the number one complaint from clients is that nobody calls them back or gets back to them. So great producers return their calls, and they do so on a very timely basis. Number 7, great producers look for efficiencies. They are consumed with finding a better way, not an easier way. What they're trying to avoid here are ruts and rituals. You know, the behaviors we get into that over the course of time happen on autopilot, whether they're effective or not, ultimately becomes irrelevant because they're known and they're comfortable. Great producers avoid that trap. Number 8, great producers are always learning, and they learn by doing. So they read and pay attention to those around them. They're absorbing as much information as they can and then applying it. They're not classroom learners, they're action learners. Number 9, great producers are stable and consistent. They're disciplined and regimented when it comes to activity management and priority management. And number 10 in this area, great producers do their homework usually at home, meaning, like we said before, that they allocate their non-productive time to non-productive, lower payoff activity. In summary, for that section, top producers are experts at managing their priorities and allocating their time and attention to those activities that will yield the greatest payoff, that lead them towards their production objective. Now let's look at what they work on. Number 1, top producers know their products, their competition, their market inside and out. They actually study. Number 2, great producers selectively quote. They analyze and pick every shot. And what that means is they're screening requests to quote to see if the opportunity is worthy of their time and attention. They're working the market with a scalpel, not a machete. Number 3, great producers are calculated and figure angles. They find and work from positions of strength. What enables them to do that is they conduct a proper needs assessment and proper opportunity assessment prior to jumping in with both feet. Number 4, great producers look to be unique and search for unique opportunities. They're searching for good fits. They're searching for opportunities where their value, integrity, and trust is going to be acknowledged and appreciated. Number 5, great producers show up when everyone else has given up. So those hairy accounts where it's tough to find a market or there's a problem or an issue that needs to be resolved, they'll take the time to work with the client rather than give up because it's easier to move on to the next one. Number 6, great producers speak of a selling process rather than transactional selling events. So it's not show up, throw up, quote, cross your fingers, hope you get a sale. It's much more about building a relationship with the client, conducting a proper needs assessment, understanding who the client is, and then applying the products and services we have to offer to make sure it's a good fit and expectations are met. Number 7, great producers thrive on new activity, not old. They don't rest on their laurels and do a lot of remember whens. They're in the present and they're working on the new opportunity, not basking in the glory of what once was. Number 8, great producers enjoy the challenge of complexity, flourish on creativity, and are bored by normalcy. They hate routine. Number 9, great producers know what others don't, or they will take the time to find out. When we're conducting a needs assessment, it goes far beyond the insurance stuff and gets into the cultural components of the organization or the expectations of the client that we're working with. Great producers, take the time to really understand who the person or who the organization is holistically. And number 10 in this area, great producers move quickly away from lost causes and focus on developing opportunity. If it's not a good fit, they're the first to acknowledge it and move on. In this next area, we'll talk about how top producers do a better job than most at attracting, creating, and maintaining long-term client relationships, industry relationships, and personal relationships. Take a look at who they work with. Number 1, great producers don't discover clients, they create them. Number 2, great producers fish in stocked ponds, not open oceans. They don't do mass emails, there's no mass marketing, there's certainly no cold calling. Their approach is very targeted and very specialized. Number 3, top producers work exclusively with clients who will work with them. Clients they select have to be culturally compatible, they have to be responsive, and they have to understand that there's much more to our sales process than simply getting a quote. Number 4, great producers understand that relationships come and go, and they focus on the comers. People and circumstances change over time, and what was right for yesterday sometimes isn't right for today. They recognize that and move on. Number 5, great producers conduct a formal client needs assessment prior to making a product recommendation. This is true of commercial accounts, but also personal lines accounts. They find out who their client is, what their expectations are, what their definition of good service is prior to making any recommendations. They understand that in the absence of a proper needs assessment, they're just guessing what the client needs and wants. Number 6, great producers educate rather than sell in a traditional sense. They provide their clients with enough information to make educated decisions. Number 7, great producers view each relationship uniquely. They're trying to identify what makes the client special, and they avoid making generalized assumptions. Number 8, great producers are heavily networked within the industry and community that they're working in. Number 9, great producers go beyond the product to provide their clients with value, integrity, and trust. That, my friends, is how they differentiate. And number 10 in this area, great producers are magnets for new and creative opportunities. Opportunities come to them through referrals and through their network. Our last 10 characteristics of top producers encompass how they think. Number 1, great producers never believe they can't or they won't, so they don't fail. Number 2, great producers aren't consumed by what's on their desk. They're consumed by what isn't. Number 3, great producers are competitive, internally and externally. They love tracking their performance. They love the sense of progress it gives them, and they really celebrate when they achieve their objectives. Number 4, great producers have a decent boldness about them. They often say no, but rarely hear no. It doesn't make them arrogant. It makes them confident in their ability to help others. Great producers view their profession as challenging, but not difficult. Number 6, great producers play hurt. They have good days, bad days, go and have mad days like everyone else. They stay with it in good times and in bad. Number 7, great producers are proud, determined, and appropriately entitled. They understand they have to work for it, and they're willing to work for it. Number 8, great producers depend on faith and work, not luck and circumstance, for success. They know they own their goals and accept responsibility for achieving them. They take responsibility when things go well and take equal responsibility for their setbacks. Number 9, great producers find success. They do not wait for it to find them. We're not talking about people who are waiting for the phone to ring. Successful producers go out and make the phone ring. And our last trait, number 50, great producers have bad moments, not bad days. They move quickly away from setbacks and defeat and find a new way towards success. So there you have it, my friends, the 50 traits of top producers. And I think you'll find the methods are all quite simple, logical, and commonsensical, if that's a word. They're all internal things rather than external things, which means we all have them inside us. All we have to do is call them up whenever necessary. Do the best you can with what you have. Remember, there's a dude behind a microphone in New York standing and applauding you. Feel the love, keep the faith, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in. This has been a Scott Primiano production, all rights reserved.